So, folks, Mephi here. So, I have been kind of quiet about this for a while because I wanted to make sure I had all the parts. And a friend of mine was thinking, well, multiple friends of mine, I should say, said, "Hey, Mephi, when you're doing this, why don't you make a video about it?" And I'm not gonna lie, the idea has come across my mind multiple times. And, oh, it's happening. It's happening. What may you ask? What am I doing? Well, I'm glad you asked. Hey guys, welcome back to the Mind of Mephi Gaming. If you notice there's a little bit of a difference in scenery, well, there's a reason for that. Today I'm going to be doing something that I did not think that I would ever get the chance to do, and that is build my own computer. Now, I know this space isn't exactly ideal, but hey, use what you got, especially in small spaces. So, I have been wanting to do this for a long, and I do mean a long time. Ever since I was younger, I already knew that I was basically interested in technology as it is. That's nothing new, especially considering the fact that I play video games a lot and I use a lot of technology on a daily basis anyway. But today, I'm stepping into the territory that I've dreamt of. Like I said, I've been wanting to do this for literal years. So today, I'm a little nervous. I got all the parts that I've been trying to get for a while, especially the hard drive and stuff like that. There will be some optional stuff that I'm gonna get later. Sorry, Guga, you're gonna have to move. But yeah, first things first, let's look at all the parts, shall we? Okay, before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. I came out of pocket for all of this. Not sponsored or anything like that, which is not that big of a deal because I knew exactly what I wanted, and with the help of PayPal, I got to break a lot of these costs down. So, let's talk about all the stuff that I got. For the motherboard, as you all are aware, I am a huge Sonic fan. I mean, shocker, I am a literal hedgehog right here. But that's not the point. Speaking of hedgehogs, I got the ASRock Z790 PG Sonic motherboard, and the specs are off the charts for it at the time when it first came out. But I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I saw it, and I thought this would be cool to put in a computer, and I managed to grab it while it was on sale. Next, RAM-wise, I got 4 sticks of 8 gig memory of crucial memory, adding up to 32 gigs of RAM. The motherboard only uses DDR5 memory, and if I try to use anything else, it will not start. Shocker. Another thing about the motherboard is it uses 12th generation, 13th generation, and I believe also 14th generation Intel processing. So if you want to get like a good processor, anything Intel is not bad. I'm not going to knock on AMD because AMD actually is really good too, but I decided to go with this one because it's the only one that actually fits into this motherboard. Which, by the way, the processor that I got was a 12th generation i5. I managed to snag that for $150, which is a lot cheaper than I thought it was going to be. Then, for memory, I have the Samsung, hold on, I might get tongue-tied here, 970 Evo Plus hard drive. It's an SSD NVMe hard drive, and it's a 1 terabyte. Now it's going to be like fast. I mean fast. So that's going to be where I have the operation system locked in place. Then I decided, of course, because I want extra memory on here and I don't want to eat up the entire terabyte, I decided to add another hard drive. Now, the original idea I wanted to get was a Toshiba 14 gig hard drive, which was kind of pricey, but then I remembered Western Digital had some really good hard drives made for gaming. Don't get me wrong, you can use it for everything else, but their Black series of games on hard drives are actually really good. So I grabbed the 4 terabyte 3.5 HDD hard drive, and that thing is actually really good. If you're trying to like get a good hard drive and you don't want to go like too much into the pocket for it, then I suggest getting one of these. Again, hashtag not sponsored. Cannot stress this enough. Then for the power supply, while doing some research, I found out that the graphics card that I have, which just so happens to be an Asus 350 single fan graphics card, it needs to have at least a power supply that's powerful enough to be like 450 watts of power to actually power that as well as everything else. But the one that I grabbed eventually was a 650 watt from Corsair. In fact, my cooling device for the CPU is a dual setup from Corsair as well too. So it says liquid cooling, but it has a fan built onto it. So I'm not really hurting for it. It's actually not that bad. Then of course for the case, I have the Corsair Corsair 4000D Airflow. It's a mid tower and it has a lot of breathing room. It already comes with 2 fans, one for the front and one for the back, and I thought about getting another one so that way I can have like more fans or airspace coming out of this thing, but I'll grab that later. Don't worry, it runs pretty nicely as it is. Well, pretty good as it is. I swear, me talk grammar good. But now with that being said, let's actually go ahead and start putting this thing together, shall we? Look at this bad boy here. Okay guys, so I finally started building this thing, and slowly but surely things are starting to come a little bit together. Now, I was having a bit of an issue trying to find a screwdriver that would help me get this off, because I didn't know if I had something that fit it, because the way the screws are kind of weird. Hold on, let me turn that on so you can see a little better. So yeah. I almost scraped it a little bit. I couldn't really tell if it was a flathead or a Phillips at first, so I was kind of out of focus. Disregard the fact that my hands are ashy. So yeah, started the motherboard. I kind of unboxed it a little bit ago, but I went from my laptop to my desk, like to my actual phone, so I'll be able to get a better look while I'm doing this. One more thing I forgot. So since this is going to be acting as the heatsink for the hard drive right here, because NVEs require a actual heatsink for it, I don't have to put thermal paste on it, because this right here is going to be a thermal area. All I have to do is just remove that and stick it to the top. Hang tight. Alright, now that that's off, it's time to put it back here. Now, I've already put this here. The reason why I have it in this slot is because this hard drive is actually a 4th generation. I can use 4th generation or 5th generation, but since I bought a 4th gen, I have to put it right here for this specific spot. I can use it from down here, well, especially this one right here, because this also holds 2 other motherboard. Well, on the motherboard, it can actually hold 2 other NVE drives. I only have 1 for now, so I'm just going to use this one. This one's going to be the base for the operation system anyway. Okay, so, update. I finally got the motherboard to actually comply with me with the hard drive. It took longer because of these tiny screws. Wait, this one, yeah, right there. You see this? I have a series of these, and trying to get one under here to keep the motherboard in place sucks. I have some choice words, but unfortunately I can't say the F word anymore because YouTube is weird. Moving on. Next, I'm going to try to install the processor, so that way I'll go ahead and have that in here. That's what this slot's for. So, give me a minute. So, I didn't realize that the processor, the cooler that came with the processor, already had thermal paste on it, and I got some on my fingers. So far, so good. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, installing this thing was very nerve-wracking because I wanted to make sure that everything fit, but it does. Next.
The next day.
Okay, I'm back. So I installed the brackets that I needed to go ahead and get ready to mount that to it, which shouldn't be a problem. Ignore the mess in the background. However, the thing that I ran into is trying to install the RAM. For some odd reason, I'm not lining up the way it needs to, and I'm having a bit of an issue. Give me a minute. Good news! I got it in. I wasn't pressing it down hard enough. Give me a sec. I got 2 more rows. Ta-da! 32 gigs of RAM installed. Nice. Okay, next. I have to build this. So in order for me to do that, I have to make sure that this fan is actually installed onto the proper cooling part right here. This shouldn't take long, but pray for me. So far, this has been fun. Hectic, but fun. Okay, the fan has been installed to the cooler. Cooler's just hanging right there. Sweet. Luckily, this thing was already preset for the type of build that I'm using anyway, so I didn't have to change those out with all the extra accessory pieces because I'm not using an AMD. But I'll save this for later. Next, we're going to go ahead and open up the case and go ahead and try to install you in there. Although, I do have another idea for you. Should I go ahead and install the BIOS and everything now? I mean, I have a big enough display to help me with that. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna try to like put the BIOS in it, just work out the BIOS with it just yet. I'm actually gonna just go ahead and get the case ready, which is right, like I said, over here. Ignore the floor, ignore the mess. Okay, so this is the case. I'm going to tear it apart now. This is the hard drive that I got for everything else. Now, don't get me wrong, the 1 terabyte that I already have locked in that's not a problem. However, you can never have enough memory. So, by the way, I got the case open and everything like that. And this is the hard drive itself. Had to get the brackets in there, or onto it, so that way I can slide it in here. Okay, now that I've got the hard drive into the bracket, let's go ahead and install it in here, shall we? Okay, I feel like I should hear a click the way this thing is moving. There we go! Yay! Alright, got it in the case. And so far, looks like I have everything lined up in there. Pray for me. Okay, so I have the CPU cooler mounted on the top. I'm going to put the bracket on and cover up the CPU in a little bit. But yeah, also my brother's here. Say hi, Albert. Hi, Albert. Okay, I just got the graphics card in there.
That's all you can do.
I have space now.
Now finish off that Nova Master.
Sorry for the blurry. Moving on. So I originally had this all finished and stuff like that, but then I noticed I left an adhesive sticker on that part right there, so I had to take everything apart to get to it, and yeah, but because of that, I'm gonna have to reapply some thermal paste. Gives me an excuse to actually do this. They always say use a little bit. So, hopefully that's not too much. Okay, now I just need to put the graphics card in. I had it in earlier, but like I said, with me taking the sticker and stuff out, I had to do it again. Give me a minute. Alright. There we go. Now it's in. I just need to screw that in over there. Alright, I found the area. I need to put that in. Sweet. Now, here comes everything else. So, love screwing things in. Oh, you can't see what I'm screwing. Alright. Putting the cooler back on. I got one more screw. Right. Wait. There. I need to put on. Grab that. Okay, that's it. Now the fun part. Wiring. Oh, and I also gotta put that in there eventually. Alright guys, moment of truth. I think I got everything in there where it needs to be, but still, I need to test it. So, with that being said, I got lights. Cross your fingers. Can't hear it, but I got something. Oh my god. I did it. Let's go. Hold up. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I did it. I did it. These are my... I can't believe I did this all by myself. I looked up a few things, but there's my memory down there, my fan, everything. I did it. I actually did it, guys.
2 days later.
Okay, so we switched locations. Computer's running. I got Windows 11 installing. We're almost there. One last thing I forgot to mention. So you notice, like I said, I bought 2 hard drives. The only one that is showing is the actual main one. However, that's not supposed to just show that one down there. But luckily, I know how to fix that. So go down to the first things first you want to do, if you haven't done it before, go to type in the search bar, create and format. That are just disk management. This should automatically pop up. I already have that in there, so yeah. Now you want to go to the one that's actually not functioning properly or not showing. That's because it hasn't been allocated to anything yet. So what we're going to do is get it so where it recognizes it. So right click, hit new volume, next, next. Assign it a letter. Keep everything basically the same. I'm just going to do a quick format. Why not? Yeah. This way, I'll be able to do normal things on it. And finish. Voila. Now I can do whatever I want with that hard drive. We're done. I promise, for real this time. Windows 11 is installed. Well, Windows 11 Pro is installed. Everything's copacetic. My computer's done. Oh wait, I forgot to change the name. Yeah, I can fix that. Hey, thanks again for sticking around all the way to the end of the video. It really does help. If you want updates on future videos and stuff like that, links down in my description where it tells you about my Twitter as well as my Discord. If you want to see anything else from me, here's a playlist of the most recent series that I finished, and this right here is the most recent video that I've done too. Take care.